I would like to introduce Manish ji. Breath out room create हो गया?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to quickly introduce Manish ji. Dr. Manish Joshi has completed MCS from Pune University and PhD in Computer Science from North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon. He has been working as a professor at North Maharashtra University since 1997. He has been acting as a research guide, and 4 of his research students have been conferred as PhD. He is invited as guest lecturer at various universities. To name a few, St. Mary's University in Gambia and Durban University in Durban. He has been selected for postdoc fellowship at the University of New Brunswick, Fredericton in Canada, 2008. He is awarded a national award for outstanding efforts in translation for popular science and technology in 2018 by Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. He has published over more than 100 research papers in national and international journals. He has visited UK as one of the members of study tour organized by Government of India and British Council for Leadership Development. His biodata is quite big. In the interest of time, I'm just highlighting few points. When it comes to social work, he has worked as a full-time Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad Pracharak for 2 years after his post-graduation. He has worked in various roles in ABVP. At present, he is Vice President of ABVP Maharashtra State. Manish ji, is it okay if we record this Bodhik with your permission?
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Yeah, I would request admin to record this Bodhik. Let us all welcome Manish ji for today's Bodhik. Thank you. Manish ji, आप continue कर सकते हैं.
Thank you. Let me share you my screen. Is my screen visible to you all?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. अब जाग उठो कमर कसो मंजिल की राह बुलाती है, ललकार रही हमको दुनिया भेरी आवाज लगाती है. This is a song which we just recited, and हम सबको जाग उठना है, and it's a very time when we have to work a lot. And I'm thankful to the Karyawa of the HSS Shaka of Norway for giving me this opportunity to discuss with you all. And thank you to Snehal, who has introduced me to all of you. A very nice and energetic and very enthusiastic group. I'm really happy to be with you all. So the title and the topic which I'm going to share with you is like, there are people who are, we call them as a sort of pseudo-intellectual, or to be very specific, they are left. They have many faces. Sometimes they look like environmentalists, sometimes they look humanitarian, but every time they put their own agenda, and their own agenda, their actual agenda is to break the civilization. So let me start with it. And this is the civilization. What do you mean by civilization? What is the importance of civilization? सबको पता है कि रियल फ्रीडम वही है जिसमें हम लोग किसी सिविलाइजेशन से जुड़े रहते हैं, अपनी रूट्स से जुड़े रहते हैं. हम लोग हिंदू स्वयंसेवक संघ की बात करते हैं तो जिसमें हम लोग हमारी जड़ों से जुड़ना पसंद करते हैं, जिससे जुड़ने की बात है. तो यही लिखा है, यही बताया है कि रियल फ्रीडम इज अ फ्रीडम टू रिटेन द ओनरशिप ऑफ अ सिविलाइजेशन. लेकिन कुछ सालों में या कुछ शतकों में ऐसा हुआ है कि देयर इज अ सेल्फ अलाइनेशन. एलिनेशन इज द फर्स्ट स्टेप टुवर्ड्स कल्चरल एस्ट्रेजमेंट. मतलब हम लोगों का कुछ ऐसा हुआ है कि हम लोग हमारी संस्कृति से मुंह मोड़ रहे थे. सो इसके कारण सिविलाइजेशनल डिस्ट्रक्शन होता है. ये स्पेसिफिकली हिंदूज के बारे में ज्यादा हो रहा है, because Hindus as a collective had forgotten the fact that they are they are the inheritors of a grand civilization which continues to sustain itself in a different ways. ये बात हम लोगों को पता है, लार्ज नंबर ऑफ मेजर सिविलाइजेशंस जो अब तक हुई है हिस्ट्री में, उसमें है हम लोग गिन सकते हैं, वह है सुमेरियन एक सिविलाइजेशन हुआ करता था, इजिप्ट में एक सिविलाइजेशन हुआ करता था, वी ऑल नो अबाउट ग्रीक एंड रोमन सिविलाइजेशन, पर्शियन सिविलाइजेशन वाज अ बिग सिविलाइजेशन, और चाइना की बात है, और हमें पता है कि हमारा भी एक सिविलाइजेशन 5000 सालों से भी ज्यादा सालों से पहले हमारा सिविलाइजेशन था। तो ये जो सिविलाइजेशन है, इनमें से कौन सा सिविलाइजेशन आज मौजूद है अगर हम देखें तो एक हिंदू सिविलाइजेशन ही है जो अच्छी तरह से बचा हुआ है। जैसे सुमेरिया है, इजिप्ट है, ग्रीस है, ये सब इन्वेडर्स, मुस्लिम इन्वेडर्स, या पहले क्रिश्चियनिटी थी और उसके बाद मुस्लिम इन्वेडर्स, उन्होंने इस सभी सिविलाइजेशंस को तबाह कर दिया है। लेकिन इतने आक्रमणों के बाद, मेनी अटैक्स होने के बावजूद, instead of although we have many attacks, Hindu civilization has survived. It has not survived, but it has kept two parts, two major things. One is the philosophical core, उसका core जो है, जिसमें लोग वेदांत कहते हैं या फिर हमारा knowledge है, we have great knowledge in our Sanskrit literature. So that philosophical course, Vedanta, Upanishad, वो सब हमने बचाया है, we have kept it intact despite of many attacks, many invasions. And another important part is most of its tradition, practices, festival, customs, etc. We are able to keep intact over this extraordinary long period, literally more than 5,000 years, we have kept this one. So that's true. We have kept this intact, the civilization, and that's why we see the Hindu civilization is still there, whereas all other civilization, Sumeria, Egypt, and Greece, and all that has vanished. But the tragedy of our time, that's why the topic is of my talk, is that the fact that this core continually struggles to find expression in public life. This core, what we are talking about, philosophical core, and the other part is tradition, practices, festival customs, etc. So its core continually struggle to find expression in public life and has been showed to the wall by determined foes, operating in various realms and forms. So this is important. Like there are continuous efforts. Now this war is, or the attacks are not as straightforward as used to be, like the invasions we had. Invaders used to come and then there would be wars. But now the war has a different shape. There are different forms. So those foes which are against our civilization, they are in different forms. They disguise with different face mask. Okay. So we need to recognize this. So this civilization, if we do not recognize these people, then they will attack on our civilization. And like, who are these people? I named them as pseudo-intellectuals. And when you search pseudo-intellectuals on web, you will find many characteristics of these pseudo-intellectuals. I named it over here pseudo-intellectuals, but my focus is basically left people, left communist people. Okay, so this pseudo-intellectual possess a severe undemocratic tendency. Their tendency is undemocratic. They talk about democracy, but their way of functioning is undemocratic, to blindly and wholeheartedly push their own agenda. So whatever their agenda, most of the time, the agenda is against the feeling of majority of the people. Okay, so they push their own agenda only to subsequently regurgitate the misinformation to anyone they see. So they propagate misinformation. So this misinformation about everything that will support their agenda. Okay. Another typical characteristics of such people is launch a verbal onslaught on who have a differing opinion. This is very typical one. and those who oppose them, they would have been experiencing this. A gang type of thing will come and they will attack on you. So it's a verbal attack, onslaught. Then disguise themselves as humanitarian, environmentalist, revolutionary, peace loving. So they will take many shapes, many forms. So I will in next slide also describe when they become environmentalist, when they become humanitarian. So that's their hypocrisy. Typically a hypocrite, they create many contradiction. So there is, one cannot find सुसंगति नहीं रहती है उनके वर्तन में. They sometimes they will appreciate something, but for a different crowd they will criticize it. So they are always hypocrite. And this left, in fact, they bullies every time they are, when they are in power, they are very powerful, and then they, in decent manner, they will create or down, make others down. But miraculously transfer themselves as victim the moment someone stands up to them. अगर इनको कोई आगे जाके खड़ा होकर बात करेगा ऐसा या फिर और पूछेगा, then they will play a victim card also. So if you see such people around, so they come in a face mask, like some like environmentalist or say revolutionary. They will talk about the downtrodden and everything, but their agenda is always to destabilize the core of the culture, the pillars of the civilization. So let us look at it. So how they attack on the pillars of civilization? How they attack on the pillars of civilization? I talked about the Hindu civilization. We have kept intact the philosophical core and the tradition. When we talk about philosophy, as I said, we have great knowledge, traditional knowledge, and very pure knowledge, and it is in Sanskrit. And now these people come and they will talk that Sanskrit is a dead language. So the treasure that we have, and they will say that this all treasure in a language, and this language is a dead language. So they are on the helm of various academic institutions, and they always try to subsidize to make sure that Sanskrit will not get funds. There will no research on Sanskrit. So these are the things that how they will start working. So the core part of our civilization in Sanskrit, therefore they will talk about Sanskrit as a dead language, and then like that one. Then when we say we have a lot of traditions as a Hindu Sanskriti or as a civilization, we have many traditions and we are very proud of our traditions. Those are good, then we keep them. Those are not up to the time, then we obviously eliminate those. But they will question everything. They will say all traditions are rubbish and nonsense. All traditions are rubbish and nonsense. So for example, in South India, there is a tradition of having Jallikutty is a popular traditional game. It has some holy संदर्भ भी उसको जुड़े हुए थे कुछ. So they pose question against it, and then majority of the people over there are with the Jallikattu, but they will say no, we should not. They will make a question like, okay, ये तो पशु विरोधी है. So those same people now will say that it's against the pet, and sometimes so that's what I said, hypocrisy. So they say it's rubbish and all nonsense, but they try to demolish our traditions. Practices, just put question marks on practices, what we follow, create confusion. So everyone in India or in our Bharatiya Sanskriti, we say Ram is a person who is pujaniya. So they'll say, no, why Ram is pujaniya? We say Ravan ko pujo. And then there will be, they will come up with the practices of Ravan puja. So when we say on Dasara, we burn the effigy of Ravan, they will start puja of Ravan. likewise. Say when we say Kali Puja, so then they will say, why Kali Puja? Kali is not a good goddess. Is likewise. So whatever practices that we follow, they will put question mark on it. Gudi Padwa, why you have that particular Gudi to be installed? So these are the people who always put question marks on good practices that we follow, because they know if we attack on these pillars, so they are the pillars of the civilization, and somehow we should attack on these pillars on with different face shields, different face marks. They will try to do this. Festivals, they will say all your festivals are unscientific and baseless. When there will be a celebrations of Holi and then Diwali, at the same times there will be debate on pollution. They will start debate on pollution. Okay, when you play Ranga Panchami, then you waste water. When you have Diwali, there is a pollution. So they will not talk anything about this on another festivals or any other. When there is a many other sources of pollutions are there, but they will not talk about it, but they will target the festivals, and they will say we are environmentalist and we have to take care of environment. There are many large number of cow slaughters are there, and large number of voluminous water is required for the cow slaughters. So they will not talk about cow slaughter and pollution related with cow slaughter, but they will talk about Holi and Diwali and any other festival. They have their own way of talking or making question mark about that particular festival. So these people are those customs. Like we have certain customs which are there for having unity within diversity. So we are diverse, but we have some common threads, and these common threads or common रस जो है, एक रस है हमारे में, हम लोग कहते हैं कि एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत. तो this जो एकता है, so that is reflected in some aspects, like we come and then we shout the slogan like Bharat Mata ki jai. Then they will start questioning, why Mata? Bharat ko Mata ही क्यों बोलेंगे, पिता क्यों नहीं बोलेंगे? So like these are the things that create confusion. So anyhow, instead of having unity among the people, so that people should be united, so they will try to make that they will identify the differences rather than unity, and then they will try to focus on those differences and somehow try to मतलब अभी तो जैसे जाति से लेकर भी कुछ चीजें होती है, they will try to explore those things, and then instead of unity they will try to divide it. So these are the things which are these all practices, which customs, festival practices, traditions, these all are for uniting all. We feel the oneness among all, despite the people from Jammu Kashmir or from Rameshwaram. So they feel oneness when they talk about Ram, when they talk about Krishna, and then they put question mark on it. So these are the people who are doing in this way. And the important thing in India, especially, or actually it is everywhere. Actually, these left people have done. They have invaded in everywhere, and then they are helm of the academic institutions. They were captured by these people to demean the Hindu values and spirit. Their agenda is to demean the Hindu values and spirit. Like many central universities, and then this is Indian Council of Historical Research, so ICHR. So many a time the head of these ICHRs are the left people, and they have funded the project sanction to prove theories of Aryan invasion. So they say that this country was not a country at all, and then they came up with this theory, and therefore the Aryan has invaded this country, and therefore there was a Arya and Dravid divide. So they try to make some divisions by putting up some false theories, and these theories were funded by the funding agencies of the India, and the people who were on the helm of this particular institute used to fund this one. Glorification of invaders. So they will talk about very good things about Aurangzeb and then Akbar and all that. So in the history books, we have lot of history about Aurangzeb and Akbar and all those, but very few pages of on the Shivaji. So the people who have stopped this invasion. So these are the barbaric invasions from these Muslim Mughals, and Gupta and then Maratha Empire. They all have stopped this invasion, and this has very little space in our history books. So they want to make sure that we don't feel proud about our ancestors. Okay, so this is how these pseudo intellectuals left on academic campuses are working. They are spoiled the academic campuses and maligned the they have maligned it with anti-Hindu sentiments. Like if you say people we have an example from Oxford also. Then they have a gang of or their own, so they give award and prizes among themselves to overvalue each other. So this is an example of the how they have maligned the campuses. When we say that there should be a love for motherland or love for motherland, as I said, we all come together, and then during the Indian struggle for freedom, then all are come together with a slogan of Vande Mataram. So like we bow to our motherland. So it's a natural feeling that we have. And then this love for motherland, they have come up with the sentiments that we will break the India. And these slogans were given on the academic campuses. So this is a very sort of thing that we must understand, that these students are led by this left to a wrong direction. So what should be their love for motherland or love for criminal? So they're talking about respect for law of the land or challenging the Supreme Court judgment. So this is how they are trying to give misdirection to the young generation also. So because as the books are written by those people, so that were studied by the students, and if now we come to the students to tell them, like with ABVP is a student organization of a wing of RSS, which works in campuses on colleges. So in every university campuses, ABVP has its role. And nowadays in JNU also, when this particular incidents happened, where in 2016 there were slogans raised against India and in the support of Afzal Guru, who attacked the Parliament of India, and then the Supreme Court hanged him. With the order of Supreme Court, he was hanged. Then there was slogans to support the Afzal also. So these gatherings, which were used to be regularly on the campuses, were now obstructed by the ABVP. Now the nationalist people, nationalist students are also gathering the union or strength on the campuses, where these type of left were having their stronghold, like SCU or AMU, Aligarh Muslim University, Hyderabad Central University. Now we have the stronghold in the form of ABVP also. And then we are talking, we are fighting with this bad element, with these ill elements, and we are stopping them to raise such slogans. So this is important, that what should be there on the campuses: respect for the law of the land, or the students are challenging the Supreme Court judgment. There was a law passed by the government, that was, as you all know, Citizenship Amendment Act, CAA, was passed by the parliament. So there was a conspiracy against this CAA. Students came together and then they shouted, then they gave slogan again in AMU, in JNU, HCU, all over many university campuses. So we have to make sure, we have to understand that such elements are there on the campuses where they are trying to challenge or pose the problem with the parliamentary laws. And this phenomena, as I said, is not only in India also is there, but it's a global phenomena where the Hindu sentiments are being dominated. Like in Oxford University Student Union, Rashmi Sawant get elected. She's got more than 50% of votes from 4,000. So almost approximately 4,000 students voted and she got 2,000 votes. So she was elected as a president of that particular student union. And then there was a professor in that university and who said that she belongs to Hindu culture, and then therefore then the people have started bullied her on social media, and later on she resigned. And the reason behind is like one of the major reasons said that her mother was carrying a flex of Jai Shri Ram. So that's a phenomena that is being is there. And as these people are ganged up together, they bully with these sentiments, and as I said, they take different faces. So how we can work on it? So as I said this in the first part, that this self-alienation is the first step for this Hindu civilization destruction. It's good that in the form of Hindu Swayamsevak Sangh or in RSS in India, we are not
Manishji, sorry
separating.
to disturb you. We have 5 minutes left, and
Yeah, I'm almost finishing. No problem.
yes, you're not done. We can take it after Prarthana as well.
No, it's okay. It's my last slide.
Okay.
Yeah. So this isolation, we should avoid the isolation from our civilization or from our culture, because this isolation leads to the estrangement, and then which leads to the civilization destruction. So we as a proud Hindus, we should stop this alienation from our culture. Then the second part, as I said, that we should not forget the great civilization. So therefore, let us know more about our grand civilization and be proud of it. We should proud of it. So I'm happy that the game which was about Ramayana, and then we came up with a very good song also. So these are the things that we will keep us more connected to the civilization, more connected to our roots, as we always talk. And we must understand the people who makes buddhi bhed. We call it as buddhi bhed karte hain. So those who are just always try to make confusion, instead of giving answers, always create questions. So we should beware of those type of people, because their intentions are not so good, and we have to remember them, we have to recognize that, and we have to unite for Hindu civilization. I once again thank you all. I have used these references, basically one dharmadispatch.in. Many very good articles are there. So you can go through that articles also. So thank you all for your patience listening. And thank you, Snehal. Thank you for the Karyava for inviting me to deliver my thoughts to you all. Thank you a lot. Jai Shri Ram.
We have still 1 minute to go. Sorry, 45 seconds to go. Actually, if anybody is having any questions, so
I think Manishji, it was good. And if you have some time, so after the Pratna, we can just have some chat.
Yeah, sure. We can share.
और चैट में एक लिंक दी गई है, तो उसमें प्लीज आप अपनी संख्या जो है भेजिए, अपनी अपनी संख्या।
नमस्ते मनीष जी।
wrong है वो।
हाँ नमस्ते।
मेरा एक सवाल था, एक प्रश्न था कि ये कैसे पता चले कि कौन क्यूरियोसिटी से क्वेश्चंस पूछ रहा है और कौन एंटी हिंदुइज्म सेंटिमेंट्स के वजह से अगेंस्ट क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा है?
ये सही है क्वेश्चन। मतलब हम लोग ऐसे कहते हैं ना कि मतलब अगर आप सोए हुए को जगा सकते हैं, जो सोने का नाटक कर रहा है उसको जगा नहीं सकते हैं। तो जो ईमानदार होगा, मतलब जो आपको क्यूरियोसिटी से क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा है, तो जैसे आप उसको समझाएंगे तो वो समझ जाएगा, मतलब वो आपको समझने की कोशिश करेगा। हिज क्वेश्चंस विल बी मोर जेन्युइन। लेकिन जो आपको सोने का नाटक करने वाला क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा है, तो वो एवरी टाइम ही विल पोज यू another question and he will try to impose you or he will try to confuse you और कुछ चीजें पूछते जाएगा continuously। तो वो सेटिस्फेक्शन नहीं होगा, उसका ही एजेंडा सामने लेके आएगा आपके।
मैं इससे सहमत हूँ, क्योंकि मेरा एक दो बार ऐसे कोई लेफ्टिस्ट लोगों से पाला पड़ा था फेसबुक पे। तो उन्होंने कुछ संघ के बारे में कुछ गलत लिखा था, तो मैंने वहां पे उनको काउंटर क्वेश्चन किया था विद प्रूफ्स की ऐसा ऐसा भी हुआ है। उन्होंने लिखा था कि संघ देश विरोधी है, और उन्होंने कभी भाग नहीं लिया अपने फ्रीडम स्ट्रगल में और ऐसे। तो मैंने उनको विथ प्रूफ ऑल भेजी थी, तो उसके बाद में उन्होंने फिर भी दे नेवर एग्रीड।
हाँ, वो बेसलेस बातें ही करते रहते हैं, और वो किसी एक ऐसे आदमी का लेके आएंगे जो उनका ही कोई साथीदार होगा, उसको ही वो साइड करेंगे, वो उसको साइड करेगा। ऐसे ही जो जिनका कोई बेस नहीं है, ऐसे लोगों को साइड करते करते उन्होंने जो खुद ने जो प्रिजुडाइज किया है उसको ही वो मानते हैं। मतलब आप कितने भी उनको फैक्ट्स बताओ, दे विल नॉट नेवर लिसन।
लेकिन ये भी है ना कि संघ में बीजेपी से जुड़े हुए लोग हैं, लेकिन कांग्रेस से जुड़े हुए भी कोई संघ को मानने वाले हो सकते हैं। तो उनके विचार अलग अलग है, उसका मतलब ये नहीं कि वो एंटी ही होंगे। तो वो भी एक यानी अच्छे लोग कौन है ऐसे डिफाइन करना मुश्किल हो जाता है ऐसे चीजों में ना।
क्वेश्चन पूछ सकता हूँ कि कोई डिस्कशन हो रही है?
नहीं, अच्छे लोग अलग अलग पार्टियों में भी हो सकते हैं, उसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। मतलब हम लोग ऐसा नहीं कह रहे हैं कि कांग्रेस के लोग हैं तो वो बुरे हैं। जैसे आप कुछ जो देश हित की बात है तो उसको सामने लेके आ रहे हैं, या फिर देश विघातक की बात कर रहे हैं। मतलब अगर अभी तो कुछ ये श्री राम मंदिर का समर्पण निधि का काम चल रहा था, तो कांग्रेस के बहुत सारे लोगों ने उसमें भी समर्पण दिया है, तो ये उनकी श्रद्धा की बात है। लेकिन ऐसे भी लोग हैं जो अपोज करते हैं, तो क्योंकि उन्हें पता है कि ये जो श्रद्धा का केंद्र है राम, तो उस ये अगर एक जुड़ गए तो ये तो उनका राष्ट्र बन जाएगा, तो इसलिए वो उसको अपोज करते हैं। तो हम लोगों को यही देखना है कि अच्छे लोग तो सब जगह पे है, कांग्रेस में भी है, कम्युनिस्टों में भी कुछ अगर जो जेन्युइन है। मतलब ऐसा भी उसमें एक ये है कि कम्युनिज्म जो दिल जिनका जवा होता है, मतलब 25 साल में अगर आपको कम्युनिज्म अट्रैक्ट नहीं करता है तो वो कहते हैं कि आप जवान नहीं है। लेकिन 60 साल में भी आपको कम्युनिज्म ही अट्रैक्ट कर रहा है तो आप बुद्धिमान नहीं है। तो कम्युनिज्म आपको अट्रैक्ट करता है क्योंकि वो रिवोल्यूशनरी थिंग्स लेके आता है। तो ये जो तरुणाई है या यूथ है वो अट्रैक्ट होते हैं ऑब्वियसली कम्युनिज्म की तरफ, लेकिन उनका कोई बेस नहीं है। तो यही बात है। लेकिन धीरे धीरे उनमें से भी कुछ लोगों को समझता है कि अब हम लोग गलत राह पे है, क्योंकि ये इनकी आइडियोलॉजी नहीं है, नेशन का कंसेप्ट ही नहीं मानते हैं।
क्वेश्चन था मनीष जी, नमस्ते। इट वाज क्वाइट इंफॉर्मेटिव बोधिक। अभी तक हम आपने जो बताया और जो मोस्टली आपने टैकल बताया कि इंडिया में कैसे करते हैं, बट लिविंग इन वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड, अभी 2 दिन पहले मेरे को यहाँ पे ओस्लो यूनिवर्सिटी में हिंदुत्व के ऊपर एक प्रोफेसर हैं, वो लिखते हैं, बहुत बहुत ही उल्टा सीधा लिखते हैं वो, और उनका भी रिसेंट में पब्लिश हुआ आर्टिकल, हिंदुत्व इज फॉरेस्ट एंड डेंजरस फॉर वर्ल्ड, एंड उनका पेपर मैं आपको भेजूंगा, अभी रिसेंट में पब्लिश किया उन्होंने. सो हाउ टू टैकल दीज काइंड ऑफ पीपल?
ये बात सही है, मतलब हम लोगों का डॉक्यूमेंटेशन उतना नहीं मिलता है जितना ये लेफ्ट लोगों का डॉक्यूमेंटेशन मिलता है. ये जो मैंने लंदन की बात बताई है, ऑक्सफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी की, तो उसमें भी जो प्रोफेसर है जिसकी बात सामने आई है, जिसने उसमें की रोल प्ले किया है रश्मि सावंत को रिजिग्नेशन में, वो भी हिंदू है, मतलब सरकार नाम से प्रोफेसर है. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई मतलब दूसरे ही लोग करते हैं. और ये लेफ्ट लोगों का एक बहुत बढ़िया, मीडिया में भी बहुत अच्छा डॉक्यूमेंटेशन है, कम लोग होते हैं लेकिन लिखते अच्छा है. तो हम लोगों को उसमें भी काम करना चाहिए, मतलब संघ तो कर रहा है, तो उसको सिस्टमेटिक तरीके से लिख के डॉक्यूमेंटेशन करके, जैसे अभी मैं जो जिसकी लिंक मैंने दी है धर्म डिस्पैच वाला, तो वो वेबसाइट बहुत अच्छी है. ऐसी कुछ कम वेबसाइट्स है, लेकिन ऐसी वेबसाइट्स है जिसमें से हम लोग उसको काउंटर अटैक कर सकते हैं. ये बात भी सही है, लेकिन कि अगर आप कितना भी कुछ काउंटर अटैक करो तो ये पब्लिश भी नहीं होता है. मतलब अगर जिस न्यूज़पेपर में अभी आपने ये प्रोफेसर का आर्टिकल छपा है, उसको अगर आप अच्छे से उसको अटैक या फिर उसको आंसर देके देखेंगे तो उसके पब्लिश होने के चांसेस भी बहुत कम होते हैं. लेकिन ठीक है, मतलब हमको कोशिश करनी पड़ेगी.
थैंक यू.
थैंक्स.
आई थिंक स्नेहल जी का प्रश्न है कुछ तो.
नमस्ते, मैं ऋषि बोल रहा हूँ. आपका टॉपिक सॉरी बौद्धिक बहुत ही इंफॉर्मेटिव था, थैंक यू फॉर दैट. मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि जैसे आपने बोला कि इंडिया एक बहुत डाइवर्स कंट्री है और इंडिपेंडेंस को भी काफी साल हो चुके हैं, एजुकेशन सिस्टम सेट हो गया है, एंड यू आल्सो सेड दैट स्टूडेंट्स आर प्रोटेस्ट ऑन सम स्मॉल थिंग्स, राइट? तो फॉर एग्जांपल आपने बोला कि औरंगजेब को बहुत बढ़ावा दिया जाता है बुक्स में. आई एग्री गवर्नमेंट का भी गलत है एनसीईआरटी बुक्स में ऐसे बस हिंदू का कम देना, जबकि हिंदू ने इन्वेडर्स को रोका है. बट अभी जो हो गया वो हो गया, तो अभी इसके बाद गवर्नमेंट का क्या एक्शन होना चाहिए और इन टर्म्स ऑफ एजुकेशन, एंड व्हाट शुड बी डन टू टीच द चिल्ड्रन राइट हिस्ट्री?
हाँ, तो ये तो सही बात है कि इस पे हम लोग क्या करेक्टिव एक्शन ले रहे हैं. तो अभी ये जो नया सरकार बना है, मोदी गवर्नमेंट, तो मोदी गवर्नमेंट हैज कम अप विद अ न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी, दे कॉल इट एज नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी. अभी इसी जनवरी में उन्होंने उसको पार्लियामेंट में भी उसको पास कर दिया है. सो दिस न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी, नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी विल बी इम्प्लीमेंटेड. और इसमें नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में बहुत सारे बदलाव उन्होंने दिए हैं, बहुत सारे बदलाव किए हैं. और उसमें हिस्ट्री के बारे में भी बहुत अच्छी चीजें कही है, जैसे संस्कृत के बारे में भी कही है. संस्कृत को बढ़ावा भी मिलेगा, नॉट ओनली संस्कृत लेकिन रीजनल लैंग्वेजेस को भी बढ़ावा मिलेगा, ये भी बात उसमें कही है. बहुत सारे उसमें आमूलाग्र बदल है, इंक्लूडिंग हिस्ट्री. तो हम लोगों को आगे के कुछ सालों में उसके परिणाम भी मिलेंगे. इवन यूजीसी, मतलब जो यूनिवर्सिटी विश्वविद्यालयों को ग्रांट देती है, यूनिवर्सिटी ग्रांट्स कमीशन, तो यूजीसी ने भी अभी जो नया सिलेबस दिया है उसमें भी उन्होंने हिस्ट्री के बारे में और हिस्ट्री को लेकर बहुत सारे चेंजेस, अच्छे चेंजेस किए हैं. ये जो मैंने धर्म डिस्पैच दिया है उस पर भी एक अच्छा सा एक आर्टिकल इसी बारे में लिखा हुआ आपको मिल जाएगा.
सर थैंक यू. स्नेहल यार, रिसेंटली मैं कुछ न्यूज पढ़ रहा था, तो अभी रिसेंटली बीए हिस्ट्री का सिलेबस का जो फ्रेमवर्क है वो यूजीसी ने अभी रिसेंटली पिछले हफ्ते की न्यूज आई है बदल दिया है. और उसमें से इवन रेफरेंस बुक में से इरफान हबीब और ऑल लेफ्ट इंटेलेक्चुअल्स का रेफरेंस बुक हटा दिया है, और उसमें फिर यदुनाथ सरकार वैद्यता लाया है, तो you know it better, the university has to take 70% सिलेबस एज पर द यूजीसी गाइडलाइंस। तो अभी वो शायद ये न्यू एकेडमिक ईयर में इफेक्टिव हो जाएगा फॉर बीए हिस्ट्री।
जी जी जी, यस यस
Yeah.
यस, स्नेहल
Yeah.
सही है।
या और
ये इरफान हबीबी, he was the chairman of this ICHR for 2 terms, मतलब लगभग 15-20 साल टोटल ऐसे वो मेंबर भी रहे हैं, कभी कभी चेयरमैन भी रहे हैं, और उन्होंने कंटिन्यूअसली उनका गैंग बना के जो लोग उनको अपोज करेंगे उनका करियर खत्म करके उन्होंने उस पे काम किया है। मतलब ये पूरा एक गैंग था जो हिस्टोरी और इसमें काम करता था।
and sir, you have really captured very nicely in almost how left works and their agenda, or how do they set the narrative, very short span of time, just 30 minutes, and captured everything really worth appreciating. I really
Thank you Snehal.
Recently one classic case of how left works is the Kisan Andolan, and how this poor girl from Sweden, Greta Thunberg, she is being acting as a left liberals. It is nothing
Yes.
agenda. She does not know anything.
We talk about hypocrisy of these people. None of them have talked about the protest which they carried out on 26th January, the Republic Day of a nation, and they have got a protest which turns violent, and none of these peace-loving people have criticized it. So this is how hypocritically they work.
Yeah, no one has criticized even the exodus of Kashmiri Pandits. It's almost 30 years. 30 years, no one criticized them. No one criticized their of exodus.
Yes.
Recently, I was just listening some comment, and it was left is like an amoeba who can take any shape or any form as whatever suits them, like whichever is convenient to them. Sometimes they become feminist, sometimes environmentalist, sometimes humanitarian, and they can set their agenda as per. We should set the counter narrative.
Yes, true.
There are no more questions, so thank you very much. And
thank you. Thank you all. Thanks.
एक सूचना देनी थी सभी को।
Yes, Ankur ji, please.
हाँ,